LeBron James just said something on his podcast that has the entire NBA internet losing it. He literally called his teammate Austin Reaves not playing like a white boy. Wait, what does that even mean? And why is everyone laughing? This isn't just a joke. Fans are debating race, stereotypes, and what the Lakers really value in their players. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this comment might be more revealing than you think.
Well, not drafted him, but signed him, signed him after the fact, and I went back and watched a lot of his Wichita State highlights and games, and then a lot of his Oklahoma highlights and games as well. The first thing I noticed, it's kind of funny, we always talk about this, he didn't play like a white boy. It was very different. His wiggle was very different.
LeBron James sparked major buzz during his podcast while sitting with Austin Reaves and Steve Nash, after making a comment that instantly caught everyone's attention. What seemed like a compliment quickly turned into a viral moment, leaving fans surprised, confused, and eager to understand what he really meant, and the internet hasn't calmed down since. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What if the roles were reversed? Would the reaction be the same, or much more serious? That question has divided fans everywhere, and the full context behind this moment might completely change how you see it, so don't skip, because the real story is just getting started.
So direct quote from LeBron James, what I noticed about Austin Reaves in college is
who's sitting there.
Yeah, he's sitting to his left.
Yeah.
He didn't play like a white boy.
Yeah.
His words, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
He had a different jiggle to him.
Wiggle.
Wiggle to him.
Wiggle.
We laugh about it all the time in the locker room, me and the guys.
Yeah.
He didn't play like a what?
He said, LeBron said,
yeah.
like a white guy.
No, like a white boy.
Yeah, like a white
what
boy.
He said.
Yeah, like a white boy.
He didn't play like a white boy.
Yeah.
LeBron James hosts the podcast Mind the Game with Steve Nash, and on March 24, 2026, Austin Reaves joined as a guest. Reaves had transformed from a role player into a true Lakers star, averaging 23.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 5.5 assists while helping the team sit third in the Western Conference at 46-26. What started as a typical podcast moment, LeBron praising Reaves for his rise, took an unexpected turn when LeBron, never one to do things the usual way, made a comment that instantly caught everyone's attention and sent the clip viral, turning an ordinary conversation into a major talking point online.
I mean, I grew up in Northeast Ohio, so I know white guys playing like white guys and white guys playing like the brothers. Right. And what I could see in his game is that he had a lot of wiggle to his game. And that was one thing, quite frankly, we were missing. We didn't have.
Yeah.
I thought that his game would translate to us, his ability to crack the seams and his ability to get into the paint, and him playing, even though their team wasn't as good at Oklahoma, his game kind of, it showed a pro. Mm-hmm. And that's what I saw early on. So as soon as training camp started, I kind of made it a point to kind of beeline it to him and kind of force something into him, maybe even before he even saw it.
Push belief.
Just push that belief and that confidence, like you belong here.
LeBron James shared that before the Lakers signed Austin Reaves, he hadn't watched him play and only went back to check his college highlights from Wichita State and Oklahoma afterward, completely reasonable and professional. But then things took an unexpected turn. LeBron said the first thing he noticed was that Reaves did not play like a white boy, noting that his movement and style were very different. And he said this on his own podcast, with Reaves laughing right beside him and Steve Nash, a white man, sitting across from him. In that moment, LeBron, four-time NBA champion and the league's all-time leading scorer.
And that I was kind of on him, like pretty much from day one, because I felt like we needed that, as far as, because we didn't possess that consistently, but also I saw he had game too, and I really thought that it could translate to the big leagues.
The internet went absolutely wild, but not in the way you might expect. Most people weren't outraged, they were cracking up. Fans called LeBron the funniest player in the league and joked that he had basically handed Reaves a hood pass on live TV. Many agreed it was one of the most honest and unintentionally hilarious moments the NBA had seen in years. That said, not everyone was laughing. Some viewers criticized LeBron, calling it casual racism, and their point is fair. If the roles were reversed and a white player said a black teammate doesn't play like a black guy, the reaction, headlines, and calls for accountability would look very different, and deep down, everyone watching knows that.
LeBron said, like a white guy.
No, like a white boy.
Yeah, like a white boy.
What he said.
Yeah, like a white boy.
He didn't play like a white boy.
Yeah.
What's a white boy play like? Stationary jump shooter? Set shot Buford? I'm just wondering.
Well,
I'm
now,
just trying to figure out.
now, hold on, Craig.
What is the stereotypical white boy
Well,
play
I
like?
can tell you this. I'll say this out loud. Not on LeBron.
Jason Williams is as a white boy?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't?
Hell no.
His tape didn't look like a regular white boy?
Hell no, it didn't.
I have to agree.
LeBron James seemed to realize the weight of his words immediately and began explaining himself. He shared that growing up in Northeast Ohio, he could tell the difference between white guys playing like white guys and white guys playing like the brothers, and what he saw in Austin Reaves was a level of wiggle, creativity, and dynamism the Lakers had been missing. The compliment was genuine. LeBron wasn't trying to insult anyone. He was highlighting Reaves' athletic and unexpected style that stood out against his initial expectations. But yes, the delivery, that's what made the moment explode online. Beyond the shock and jokes, though, the fact remains, LeBron wasn't wrong about Reaves, and that truth often gets lost amid all the noise. Austin Reaves went completely under the radar in 2021, going undrafted and overlooked by every team in the league, eventually signing a two-way contract with barely anything guaranteed. By all accounts, he wasn't supposed to be here, certainly not averaging over 23 points per game alongside Luka Doncic and LeBron James on a team sitting third in the Western Conference. The stereotype LeBron referenced of the white guy who spots up, shoots threes, and quietly fades out after a couple of seasons was completely shattered. Reaves may not be the fastest or the most explosive athlete, but his craftiness, ability to break down defenses off the dribble, and knack for finishing at the rim defy every expectation tied to his physical profile. Watching Austin Reaves play a full game feels unexpectedly different. He does things that defy the mental scouting report you built before tip-off. That's exactly what caught LeBron James's eye when he first watched Reaves' college highlights. After more than 2 decades in the league, LeBron recognized something unique right away. The observation itself was accurate, but saying it aloud on a live mic with his white co-host Steve Nash and white teammate right there added a layer of complexity. LeBron even joked on the podcast that he might lose the black community's support if he kept inviting white guests, pointing out that Reaves was his second straight white guest after actor Timothée Chalamet appeared earlier that month. Steve Nash, co-hosting the podcast, jokingly told LeBron James to diversify, and LeBron fired back that they should have Luke Cornett on next. Just like that, the episode turned into an unplanned comedy special. But beyond the laughs, there's a deeper reason this moment resonates. It opened a door almost no one in professional sports dares to walk through publicly. Suddenly, the realities of how players really talk about each other in locker rooms, the racial stereotypes that exist on both sides, and the unspoken rules about what can be said and by whom, all of it was laid bare by one sentence on a podcast produced entirely by LeBron himself. Craig Carton, covering the clip on his show, praised LeBron James's candor, noting that it offered a rare, genuine look into the locker room dynamics and the conversations NBA players have about race and playing styles behind closed doors. And honestly, that's one of the more thoughtful perspectives to come out of this moment. Because these discussions do happen, they happen in every professional sports locker room. Players notice, assess, and talk about each other all the time. LeBron just forgot to turn the mic off. As for Austin Reaves, he laughed through the entire thing. He wasn't offended, uncomfortable, or surprised. He clearly understood the context. Austin Reaves sat grinning as LeBron James described him as a player with a different kind of wiggle, someone who shattered every expectation LeBron had before seeing him play. Over the last 3 seasons, Reaves has averaged over 15 points per game and is currently posting career highs while evolving into one of the NBA's top shooting guards. He has every right to laugh at a compliment delivered with a raw, unfiltered flair. Beyond that, he's playing his way toward a potential maximum contract this offseason, which would make him just the second undrafted player in NBA history to reach that milestone, after Fred VanVleet, who also defied expectations tied to his background and physical profile. Reaves is following that same path, proving that the league's best players find ways to succeed no matter what scouting reports predicted. And in the middle of all this attention, his trajectory is quietly reshaping perceptions of what an undrafted player can achieve. For about 90 seconds on his own podcast, LeBron James accidentally became the most honest voice in the NBA. He has also openly talked about how, in Reaves' early days with the team, he went out of his way to instill belief and confidence, assuring him that he belonged in the league before Reaves fully believed it himself. Their relationship is clearly genuine. LeBron recognized something real in Austin Reaves from the very start and described it in the quintessentially unfiltered LeBron way, giving the basketball world a moment that won't be forgotten anytime soon. Was it appropriate? That's up for debate. Was it accurate? Without question, was it the funniest moment on an NBA podcast all season? Almost certainly. LeBron James has been in the league since 2003, won 4 championships, broken the all-time scoring record, and spoken on more microphones than almost anyone else in history, but somehow, in 2026, he steps into a podcast with his white co-host and white guest and delivers a single line that keeps the internet buzzing for 48 hours straight. That's not an accident, it's just LeBron being LeBron, unfiltered, honest, a little chaotic, and impossible to ignore. The Wiggle comment is already legendary, and Austin Reaves, averaging 23.5 points and on track for a max contract, probably doesn't mind at all. LeBron said it, Reaves laughed, Nash stayed quiet, and the internet debated, funny or offensive? Subscribe, comment your take now.